Welcome to the Breakthrough to Your Best Success online event. Join your host, Elizabeth Hamilton-Guarino, and the contributors from the Success Guidebook and other special guests to visualize, actualize, and amplify you and your best success. This conference will help you redefine success, transform your goals, embrace change, design and realize your best life, and much more.
Welcome back to the Breakthrough to Your Best Success conference here on Best Ever You. I have got superstar coach Maine. Were you born in Maine?
I was born in Fairfax, Virginia, but grew up in Maine.
But we'll just call you from
Maine native.
Maine native. Coach T, Edwin Thompson. We all call him Coach T. You're the head coach of Hoya Baseball, Georgetown University. It's a great honor to have you here and in the book. Mine's all dog-eared and papered and all that stuff, but you and Cam are all of chapter 2, and I couldn't be more proud to have you, to know you, to be your friend, and have you in the book. You know, having you in the book is just super cool. But anyway, welcome. How are you?
Yeah, well, hey, it's great to have you on. It's good to be connected again, and just the season just finished up, and so now it's just kind of for us, it's just kind of resetting and relooking at everything. But as we always do, try to assess what's next, right? And that's kind of always, as success happens, you want to kind of see how you continue to have more and what can you do to improve the one you had and keep that going. So, but it's good to be on and great to see you and great to talk to you.
Yeah, I love the topic of success with coaches such as yourself, because you take a little bit of that world-class success home with you whenever you're around somebody as inspirational as you are. How many guys are on a team now?
We have 40 players, about 6 to 8 staff members, and then
Yeah.
I'm in charge of, we have another, probably 10 other people that I connect with in our department different ways. So probably close to around 60, 70 people.
Wow.
Some level to kind of manage and communicate with. So it's always important to be there. So, but yeah, 40 players. So it's a good amount.
And keep inspired and keep motivated and keep healthy and happy and all of those things. That there must be a formula or some trick to that. We just finished with the 154th team in Georgetown baseball history. Is that correct? It's the oldest sport at Georgetown.
Yep, oldest sport on campus.
So cool. Our son played on team 153, Cam. But how do you do that? How do you, year after year with all those kids, and then everybody wants to be your friend, they feel like they're family. It's a lot of people to keep track of, because you've been doing
Yeah, I think it's one that you have a vision, right? As a leader, you have a vision of what you want to get at. I think it starts with recruiting great people like Cam and other guys that kind of made a decision to come to Georgetown from all over the country. And I think that part, allow different background, different experiences, the way. So you just kind of have that. And same thing with staff and support staff. You want everyone to share a shared vision. I think just everyone kind of on the same page, from person does equipment, person that does our play-by-play, just like, hey, here's our vision, here's our goals, here's how we want to get there. Everyone's a big part of that, and making everyone feel connected. I think that's any sign, any really good teams that I've had, everyone's really connected. I think that's the easiest part to say, but hardest part to stay with. And I think, always checking out on the players and trying to make sure that they're doing okay. Because again, there's 40 players, only 9 spots on a field at one time. So just trying to get them, keep people engaged in whatever manner that is, to know that everyone's a big part of what the big picture is. But everyone has a role, and each day, each person has a different role and different experiences. So trying to provide that best overall experience you can is no perfect answer, other than just, if you recruit the right people, that understand that it's going to take a lot of work to be successful, no matter how you do it. You can kind of have that and have a shared vision, and that helps sometimes where it's a partnership. And I like to say partnership because it's a 2 partnership. We want to bring in the players, help us win. I want to help them develop as people, and best baseball players they can. So in my world, I'm fortunate to be a small part of that, whether it be for 1 year or 4 years. But that part is always really important, to make sure everyone's connected and have the same vision.
Yeah. So in your field, I thought it was interesting to have you in the book, because in the field you're in, it's a lot of analytics. It's a lot of how many home runs did you hit? Did we win? Did we lose? Did we go
Right.
here, there, or another thing? And I get it, and we need that. There's a whole other part of success, though, and I thought this would be a really interesting conversation with you about all the other stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to seek to help people kind of in certain areas move off of that a little bit to help or to bring in more well-rounded to it because you can go for success this way and miss everything else about your life
Mhm.
and so forth. And so we're just trying to have a conversation about that. Um, what do you think about that? Does it work in baseball? You can't just like redefine a home run where that's not going to work so well. But you can, I suppose, if it goes far enough.
Yeah, I think anything you do is just like when you learn how to read, you got to learn your ABCs. And I think the end goal is to read a book and do all those things, but you don't know what that is when you don't know. And so I think when players for us, we get them from time I talk about even like in the high school age kids we talk to recruiting wise, we talk about what it's going to take to not only decide to get into Georgetown, to get into a school, to be able to play at our level, and then that's the first step. And then there's steps of every level, just trying to break our roster, to travel, to get playing time, and then so we try to put certain markers for them to be able to help. You just can't skip steps, and I think any success is one of those things that you know what it's going to take, but it takes what it takes, and that's sometimes easier said than done. And I think allowing kids and people to have that opportunity to grow and make mistakes and learn, and I would say growth over outcome all the time, because baseball is a game of failure, and if you don't understand that fact at a younger age, at a younger since when I get them as freshmen or sophomores, or like you're gonna have a tough time because you just can't jump in and be an All-American, or be a draft pick. It takes time, and you have to work out the things you're not good at, which is uncomfortable because, I like to be honest with players about what they need to work on. And that sometimes is in this world, everyone wants to tell you how good you are, but like there's a reality of you're not as good as you think you are, and because a lot of good players all over the world. And so I think you just can't skip steps. I think that's the biggest thing that we try to stress to our kids is you can't skip them. And only one way to get them done is to work and to work with an intent.
Yeah, I love that because, we're in this world of everything instant gratification, everything fast, everything. And somebody said to me the other day, like, you're really successful. How'd you do that? I'm like, day and night for 20 years, kind of thing. How long have you been working at this? And
Yeah, 20 years. And I think,
no kidding then.
yeah, 20 years. I started, I finished playing professional baseball in 2004, and this is my 20th year coaching. So I think, in this, instant like photos and things like that, like even I call it microwave generation, where it's like everything's quick and instant. And now it's even quicker with your phones. But like when you were younger, we all were, to this day, we love Thanksgiving meals. We love slow meals. We love meals that are cooked and prepared versus, yeah, you'd love to grab something from the grocery store that's already prepackaged, but a homemade, you know, pie or a cookie or a dinner, it
Making me
takes
hungry.
time, and you have to invest into those things. Those qualities of building a meal take discipline, take time, take dealing with adversity. Maybe you're short an ingredient. You have to figure out. So like that's part of success is you have to figure things out as you go. But no, it just takes time, and there's just no easy secret to that. It takes what it takes. So I always try to use that analogy. Like, would you rather have a Thanksgiving meal or a hot pocket? We've all had a hot pocket or a warm microwave meal versus a Thanksgiving meal or a Sunday dinner or holiday meal. Like those are things that, and you have those love and you have those compassion. And those are things that are really important to have, and have that mindset. That allows you to have the success you want. May not come right away, but in time. When I was, you know, 23, 24 at University of Maine at Farmington, did I think I was going to be at Georgetown University, leading the team to a school record and wins? No, I did not have that about where I was at, where my feet were at. And that was a really big part of my development, was just learning and taking advantage. I mean, I was a middle school basketball coach, my first job, JV basketball, 10 years old, but I felt like I was at, the best program in the country. And I approached it that way. I didn't let my location or my job title dictate how I wanted to go about where I wanted to be. And I didn't know what that looked like. I just knew how to be professional and those type of things. So over time, you learn, you grow, and you learn, you grow. But I always say to people to stay in the moment, because if you're at a smaller school, or for me, I was a middle school basketball coach. 20 years later, I'm a Division I head baseball coach. Like that's not in my thought process, but I got to this point because of how I went about things, and had great people around me to support me and help me. And I had a great players that have helped have a lot of wins. And I always say the players get the wins, I get the losses. So I've had a lot of good players, so it helps me out.
That's funny. Um, can you talk about mentors and like how important it is? Okay, this is an adult standpoint, 55
Yeah.
year old me here. How important it is to see you, be around you, and then maintain that relationship with you if possible throughout your entire life. Because if I was being coached by you, I'd be like, okay, he's cool, he knows everybody, right, or whatever. And if not to use that or anything like that, but to actually listen to you and be mentored by you and be coachable, trainable, like a sponge around you. Is that how people are? Is that reality? Or is
Yeah.
that
I, mean,
just my
I
adult?
Yeah, I think everyone wants to be have somebody you can go to and talk to. I think that's an important part of life. I think, I have people in my life that I go to and I talk to about just making sure I'm grounded, make sure that I'm on my personal growth, right? I think everyone has that. I think being around student athletes, what it does, it allows you to stay connected to age group that's younger, and in ideas, but also at the same time you can instill wisdom
Yeah.
in the right moments. And I think that's a healthy blend where I always feel that my players teach me stuff all the time, not just about like how to use my phone better or different techniques, but like just
Those are
how
great.
they're thinking, how they view things. I mean, and it takes time sometimes as a leader to make sure you understand your crowd, your people, because I cannot use things that I said 10 years ago. It's not relevant to kids now, right? But like, so I have to adapt and adjust and making sure that my message is still being heard, but in a way that they can understand it. And I think that's something that has, so as far as being mentoring to them, is make sure I'm staying connected. And then I think, yeah, I think it's important to have people like, I'm fortunate to help out others. It's a mission, it's a gift that I've been had and blessed to be able to do other people in my profession, people that want to get in my profession, and obviously a lot of different people in between. So I think I'm very fortunate when somebody asks for advice or asks for their opinion. In my opinion, I'm a straight shooter, so I'm
Yeah.
always going to tell it. But it allows me to also look at myself, and I think that's sometimes as a leader you have to do.
Yeah, I love the way you answered that. I was wondering if you were going to flip that around and see if, because I'm of the opinion that when you're around people, they teach you. If you really open your eyes and ears, they teach you a lot.
Yeah,
And no matter what age, place, space, or anything, when you're around people, they just teach you, and it's so
yeah,
cool if you're open to it. So I love that. But I also
yeah.
love the fact that I notice more and more in I know I'm a gymnast, so that was my thing. I was a gymnast forever and
Mhm.
ever and ever, so not baseball at all. I do joke that when I throw something, it goes over there, so that's why Cam got his movement. It's kind of funny. We have a joke in the house. I'm like, oh, that's where it comes from. Then we all laugh.
Yeah,
Ha But the person that's with you right there, I noticed that when they're in your company, you help them be their best. Individually, each person leaves your program better off for having encountered you. That's very cool. And
yeah. I'm very humbling to hear that. I think I try, right? I do my best, and I think I tell them I'm honest and I'm going to make mistakes. But I think authenticity is being genuine and being honest are things that can sometimes get lost in today's society,
yeah,
especially when it comes to deal with athletics. And I always say I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And there's times where I'm going to hold guys accountable in certain situations that they may feel like, why are you doing this to me? But I think, I always love when I hear stories that, they get into the job world, they have an interview, and it's like, the interview was easy because we were prepared because of how we talked in our one-on-one meetings or whatever it is, and I make sure they had good communication skills. And again, it's always an ongoing process, and I think that part, it's why I love, I started this 20 years ago because I wanted to impact young people,
yeah.
and because people impacted my life. And so I just wanted to pay that forward. And it's fun now to see some of my former players now coaching. I've
Mhm.
hired a few of my former players. Like it's a really cool circle of time. And the unique part now is I'm recruiting my friends' kids. Like that's a weird dynamic, and
Trippy, yeah.
people, like that's a whole cycle of life that it's just, but people are connected in different ways. And I'm fortunate. Again, I'm been in it for a long time, so I know a lot of people. But at the same time, I enjoy that journey with each individual and helping them. I always try to tell them, I don't want to mess you up when you get here. Your parents did a good job. My goal is to help you enhance and help you, guide you to the next step of your life. And then if I can do that, through my actions and my words, not just talking, right? Because I think that sometimes can get lost. People talk, but like hopefully my actions have been ones that they can model a little bit in their life and then help them moving forward.
Yeah. And I noticed the baseball world is interconnected too. It does seem like you guys all know each other and you take
Yeah.
care of the kids. That to me surprised me the most. I'm like, wow, you all know each other.
Yeah.
One way or another, everybody knows, or you're a few steps off from knowing somebody or whatever it is. So I think that's really cool when you can take somebody, this is mom. I mean, I'm going to mom this up everybody for a second here, but I don't live vicariously through Cam, trust me. But I think it was cool when when your child has promise in something and you're like, oh, what do we do with that? My husband played baseball and stuff like that. But to the level that Cam's gotten to, it's like, okay, we're on new territory. And I think it's really cool how you guys surround somebody like that and make sure they're okay. If I mommed that up, I know. But I mean, we've known you for a really long time now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we were talking about, it's like since
Yeah.
his freshman year, he came to one of my camps when I was at, I think it was Duke or Georgia State.
Yeah.
We had one in Portland, Maine, where I'm from. We did a winter camp, and I first saw him throw, and he was a little guy, but he had a really good arm. And I was like, hey, you're going to be really good. And who knows, 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, whatever it was, I got to coach him. Like, it's really a cool. And being from Maine, so I kind of follow all the kids that go different places in Maine, whether Division I, Division II, Division III. You kind of know each year who are the top players and you follow them. And so just seeing the growth and now being a professional, like it's really cool to see how relationships affect. I mean, that relationship we had, 13 years ago, whatever it is, or how many years it's been.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still connected and able to partner and do different things. And so that part, I always say is to our players, if you're a good person, right, and you're genuine, then you have opportunities that will present themselves. If you don't, you'll limit yourself. So I would say just be a pro. Just be a pro. Whatever you're doing, just be a pro. Whether it be, clean up your locker, or being in class, or just helping out in the community, like or on the field. Obviously, just be a pro. And people recognize that, and then they allow them to have want to have more interaction with you.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to ask you, I've got questions in front of me that I've asked the same 5 questions to everybody. We just covered kind of one of them. How has the notion of success guided you in making big business or life decisions?
I think it guides you in a way that, because it defines what success looks like for everyone's different. I think my success at 23 to 28 was different. It was more about me, and it was about my goal, where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do, and my path that I thought I wanted to be on. Then when you have, for me now, I have a family, so I have different levels of success. Being home this weekend was success, because it was sad that we weren't in the NCAA tournament, but I was able to be home. So it's a very unique dynamic that I live. And I think success is always driven by the people that are around you. And I think you have to have your own measure of what success is for you. And I think that's something that's about life. You just still continue to try to evolve and try to figure out, okay, did this and that's now what's next? And how do I continue to have that motivation to grow and to develop? And I think that's something that, each off season for me is like, this summer is like a really big off season for the players, but also for the coaches and leaders. Like, how can I lead better? How can I get things differently? So those decisions are always based off ultimately success, but that's different for each year that I've been in. I think each year is different for me.
Yep, I would agree. Now, what about for those players who keep going on? They don't get to be home this weekend. They are in the MLB, or they're over in the Cape Cod League, or they keep
Yeah.
going. Let's talk about maybe like, so I don't have everybody memorized like you do. So names come to mind for me that I know because I've had, Jake Bloss in the back of our car driving back to the hotel. But like, talk about Jake Bloss, Cody Boker, Ubi, what's everybody doing? That's my team 153. And then is
Yeah.
he going to run for president, really?
Who's that?
Okay.
Yeah, he might.
We need him to run.
Yeah, I would vote for him.
Everett.
I think each of them have individual paths, and it's so fun to see their journeys, right? Ubaldo Lopez, like, one all-time home run leader, is one of the best players to come through, has a great job, and so he's doing great things. And Jake Bloss, obviously, he's in Double-A right now, playing professional baseball. Christian Ficca just graduated, and now he's in the stage of waiting to hopefully hear his name called in July, or have a chance to sign a professional contract. So you just, and like, Cam's doing great things in Germany, like everyone's doing something different. And I think it makes it that the team each year when they go off and do their thing, that's where it's fun. I get to follow them, whether you're playing baseball or just doing the life. Like we went to New York and we saw some of our, Garrett Kuehl and Colin Gardner, guys that,
Yeah.
on our team last year that came out to watch us play against St. John. So I think the unique part about relationships and teams is that you're going to kind of stay connected at different ways at different times. Obviously, when you have success as a team, you want to have, on TV or whatever, but like just visiting in areas, you run into people that you coached. For me now for 20 years, I was, I think that part of it, and then just following them is just as fun as watching their box scores, seeing how they're doing in life and how their family's doing. Like that part for me is, I always tell players once you're done, our relationship is just now it's a relationship, and it's hopefully I'm involved as much or as little as you want it to be. And obviously there's times when they need more or less advice or just want to just check in, and that's fine too. And I think that part makes it fun.
Yeah. I want to talk about unsuccessful things for a minute here, because everything in life isn't just all,
Correct.
puppy dogs and roses and things like that.
Right.
This was my first time seeing it in person when we went to watch you guys play down in, I don't know if it was North or South Carolina, but right off the bat, somebody got injured and I think tore their ACL or their Achilles or something
Yeah,
like
Achilles.
that. And I went, oh my gosh, that's a senior. They probably won't get to play again, kind of
Yeah.
thing. And as a mom, I went, oh no, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, so how do you deal with when that, when you have a child who's just like completely devastated, and a young man, whatever you want to go, to me, they're kids, but a player who's just completely just thrown for a loop.
Yeah, I think that the best thing is just to support them. The thing is,
I was thinking about that. Just
just support. I think, we always tell players when we recruit them, and they all know at some point, no matter where it is, no matter it's a 15-year career in the big leagues, whether you play in college, whether you play a couple years of professional baseball, at some point your competitive bat, ball, glove are going to be put down. And so whether that's, forced based off, mine was forced. I was a minor league baseball player, and I got released, and I was like, okay, now what do I do with my life? And so, but it's always sudden.
Yeah.
If you get injured like this particular player, emotionally, it's really difficult in the moment. And then, how can you learn? What can you learn from it? How can it help you? Right? How can those, that adversity help you in a job interview or lead another group? Because it's going to happen in life. You're going to have a family dynamic where you have to look, they're going to look to you. And so I think you just try to teach, even in that moment when it really looks bad, but like in the short term versus long term philosophy, as I always say, the short term is difficult. It's hard. It's emotional.
Yeah.
But then once time happens, you can kind of help them grow in a moment of travesty, adversity. How can you grow from this? And that particular player, like, he's doing great things. He's, when a job, one of my former coaches' wife works in a company that he got interviewed by, and my former coach called me about the kid.
Yeah.
And I said, this kid is 100% A plus, this, that, and the thing. Here's how he dealt with adversity. And I gave him that story.
Yeah.
And he still showed up. He still was a great teammate, travel with the team, different things like that. Like that matters. How you handle adversity, it's going to happen. And that was one of those moments where, I was able to make a phone, or someone called me about him that, never would have thought. And that story, again, he was qualified to obviously get to an interview, but like to help have context for that person making a decision, like that part was really cool for me to kind of come. So I think staying supportive, and then also knowing that at some point it can help them in their journey.
Yeah. I saw this one injured player with you this past at the tournament you were at, and he was like official bat boy.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah,
thing.
you keep them engaged. You bring them along, you let them be a part of what they would have been doing if they weren't, we had a couple guys injured that were, one was a senior and one was, a junior, and just having them still be connected with the team. That shows great leadership, great selflessness. To be a great teammate. Even though I can't play, I want to help the team any way that I can. Like that's what team's about, and it comes back to recruiting the right people. And we always say we're going to miss on talent as coaches. If you miss on talent, like we hope that everyone's going to be an MLB player. We know that's not realistic, but like if we don't miss on character and them as a human being, we'll be fine. I can live with that.
Yeah. Let's talk about Coach Capon for a minute.
Yes.
And other coaches, if you want to. I probably know you and him the best.
Yeah.
What a cool human.
He's the best. I think,
Julius
this,
too, he's gone too, I think, though. He's
huh?
gone, right? Julius?
Yeah,
Sorry, didn't mean to
yeah, he
interrupt
went
you.
to San Diego State.
Yeah.
A great opportunity for him. Part of my job in a leadership position is being able to help people move on and reach their dreams, reach their goals. No different than, Jake Bloss have a chance to go play professional baseball at a very high level, or,
Yeah.
Yavaldo Lopez getting a great job, or, my assistant coaches who I help, on some ways, just like I do my players, help them develop and help them grow and help them have opportunities that present them to move forward. But yeah, Coach Capon is the glue to our program. He's been
Wow.
such a fabric of what we've been here and the DNA of how we've had success. And the reason we've had a lot of success is because of him and Coach Julius and Coach Brock Keener and,
Yeah.
all Coach Mo, all the coaches we have. It just allows us for me to all have roles and responsibilities, and we all kind of have good synergy. So, but yeah, Cape is a lot of fun to be around, and to see his growth every year has been awesome too.
Yeah. Yeah, where did he come to you guys from? Was he
Came from Holy Cross University, or college, I guess, in Massachusetts. And so he was from Virginia. And, funny story, again, goes back to people reaching out. I got a random email when I was at Eastern Kentucky, just kind of started talking, started a relationship with him. And just more like he's looking to grow his network. And at the time he was just talking about pitching and things like that. And so, got this job, and I was like, hey, this guy, I liked kind of how our conversations, how they went. And you just never know. And that's kind of really why I hired him, because he was just, took enough time to reach out to me. And I was like, okay, this is a good person. I can tell, looking at his, talking in baseball wise, new baseball, but like I could relate to him. I connect with him. So
Yeah.
that part, another, example of just, you never know who's listening, who's watching, or who's taking the information. And then next thing you know, he's hired at Georgetown. So he played for the Mariners minor league, but he went to Holy Cross from Virginia. And so it was an easy, natural fit to kind of blend in here.
All right. Do you have a little bit more time?
I do.
Okay, so I just keep random questions for you
Sure.
because they're just fun to ask. How do you manage on the field, off the field, behavior with people? And where I'm going is, I don't love it when people are like three different people, like one person in front of parents, one person in front of coaches, and
Yeah.
yeah. How do you manage that look for that? There's a lot of stuff coming at these guys,
Yeah.
or kids, girls, women, men,
Yeah.
whatever, young people all over the place. There's a lot coming at them in the form of drugs, alcohol, this, that, and another thing. How do you deal with that?
Yeah. Try to be consistent for them. Try to be a consistent message, try a consistent voice. I try to keep me person, my demeanor all the same. And I try to educate best I can, to help guys to make good decisions. And I talk about being a pro. I always say, you want to be a pro, you want to be a pro in life, and be a Major League Baseball player. That's one aspect of life. You want to be a pro husband, a pro father. That's that's probably the most important part of your life. Just being a pro person, right? And so just getting them to understand that, like, being consistent in your habits, no matter if you're winning games or losing games, how do you go about talking to that 10-year-old kid that you walk by after the game and wants an autograph? Are you going to be short with that kid? Are you going to put a smile on that kid's face for that 30-second interaction? That's kind of what I always try to stress, is just there's always things going to be coming at them. Obviously social media, and I always talk about, putting blinders on and just really focusing on things, what's important to you and as an individual. And those other things will kind of hopefully stay away. Right. And that sometimes can come, but like, the more often than not, that if you're consistent in your how your values and your beliefs, like, those things won't let you, pull you down to that level. You'll keep rising your level to where you want to be.
Yeah. And talk about dream big.
Yeah.
Hashtag dream big, even, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
That's the
I think
best
it's
saying
something that,
ever. Yeah.
yeah, I think, like, my dad always said dream big when I was little. My parents, my mom, my dad, like, just dream big. And they always supported that. Like, I was a kid from Maine, and I wanted to play Division I baseball. I really want to go to University of Notre Dame. And I never forget, I got this email, or not got that, it was a letter. I wrote a letter to the admissions office, and I was 8th grade. And somebody actually got back to me. It was really cool when they said, hey, you were only in 8th grade, but like, you need to get good grades, do these things, and you have a chance to come to Notre Dame. So I was like, okay. And that literally, at a young age, I always dreamed really big, and I didn't care what people thought. I wanted to play in the major leagues. That didn't happen, but like, I get to impact so many people. And I think when in life, when you're little, right, when you're a little kid, be an astronaut. I want to go be this and go be that. But when you get a little older, people tell you what you can't do, and or say it's really hard to do. And like when you're younger, when you're little, you just dream. And I just remember always my parents would always say dream big. And like I didn't, when I got older and it got a little harder to reach some of those goals or to reach some of those things, they just were so supportive. My brothers and like my family, like, so I just always take that approach, because if you dream, why not dream big? Like, you have one opportunity in this world to do things you always wanted to do, but like, don't limit yourself because of what others think or can or say. Like, just be like a 7, 8-year-old kid and dream to go play whatever it is or do whatever it is you want to do. And I think that sometimes in our society gets lost, because at a certain point we tell them, okay, well, that's not reality. Well, why is it not reality? Right? Why can't it be that a reality for me? I'm not going to worry about what you think. I'm going to go do what I feel in my heart and my spirit and what I'm passionate about. And I think that's kind of why I'm so passionate about kids, reaching their dreams and helping them along the way. And we talk about that in their life. Like, what do you want to do? Baseball is going to stop, but what do you want to do after that? And then, whenever it stops. But I also say, play as long as you can. Go play and have fun. But I think that's something that I think that's my message has always been, just to dream big, because my 7-year-old self, I'm dreaming every day. I got to be a head coach at Georgetown. It's like I'm from J Maine. Like, it's a pretty cool thing. So I think that's kind of where I get it from.
Yeah. All right. So here's the book. It's a Success Guidebook, and you took over chapter 2,
Yes.
which is believe. And it was interesting, because I'm like, I'm writing this and I need you, kind of thing. You're the human being who helps people believe in themselves the most that I know. So it's really special to have you in here, because I really believe that if you don't believe in yourself, no one else can see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's just kind of what I think. I don't think people can show up for you if you don't believe in yourself. But here's the question. And I was on Connecticut TV the other day, and they're like, but how, Elizabeth? And I'm like, that's just it. How? We can talk a good game, but how? How do you believe in yourself?
Well, I think it comes back to the people in your life. That's one aspect: your parents, your friends, your teachers, your professors, your coaches. But then it comes back down to, again, my 7-year-old self. Like, I think just literally always thinking about bigger things and just really just dreaming my dream. And then so once you dream that, once you believe that, okay, well, how do you get there? Well, you got to surround yourself with good people. You got to like learn what others did to get there. And now there's so much information on the internet, like, and so like, it's just, I don't know. I think you have to have that if you don't have it, like, you just can't say, I want to go do this. Like, you have to believe that you're confident in your abilities, even when you're not, like, as a baseball player, like, the analogy is like, if I'm 0 for 3, I still have to have that presence in the batter's box, and I'm going to go get this hit when it matters the most. And all the great ones can do that. It's easier said than done. I know that, but I think for me, when it comes to success or comes to things you want, like, if you just have a plan of action, like, you have to have a plan, but like, you have to believe that you genuinely can do it, and how do you get to that point? Time. I mean, it's just time. But I go back to 7-year-old me. I want to be a Major League Baseball player. That's a lofty goal for a kid who lives in a cold weather state that at the time was not a professional prospect by any means. And so you just don't listen to anybody. You put blinders on, you just kind of do your thing, and until somebody tells you no, or until tells you can't do it anymore, you just keep going. And then at the end of the day, you find something else, whatever that next thing would be. But I think that's something that I think, there's always doubt, but I think if that creeps in, that's when it it's difficult. But if you keep that doubt out, you just keep going forward, even when it doesn't look pretty, that's kind of how I approach it.
Now, here's something that I don't think is in your wheelhouse. Going up to somebody and saying, no, you'll never do that. No, 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 and more no, kind of thing. That doesn't sound like you. However, there's coaches like that. And I don't know where it comes from, but we've bumped into a few here and there that are like, go get a real job, or you need to stop now and do something else, or whatever. What's that all about?
Yeah, I don't know. I think everyone gets into coaching differently. Again, I want to get into impact young people. That was my mission. That's my goal. From University of Maine at Farmington to Bates College to Duke University to Georgia State to Eastern Kentucky, now at Georgetown. Like, that's my mission. And I love that. I don't want to, when I was at Bates, I had kids that want to be engineers. I'm like, go for it. Go for it. We don't have the program. We'll figure it out. like, because I think I was told at times what I couldn't do. Oh, you can't go to this school. You can't go to that school out of high school. You got to go, work here in the mill. And I'm like, that's not what I want to do. I want to go to this school. I want to go to Notre Dame. I want to go be a baseball player, Division I. Like, that's what I was focused on. And I think, but I had people in my life that said, you can do it, and my parents were two big supporters of just go do it. And it's not going to be easy, but go do it. And I think that part of it, and other people in my life since I've been in my coaching journey has and helped me. So I think I try to be honest with kids, right? Like I say, hey, listen, but I had kids that haven't played a lot here, that have worked themselves. And I said, what is it going to take for me to be a professional? I said, okay, you need to do this, that, and the other thing. And then a year later, they get an opportunity to play professional baseball. Like, that's cool. Like I don't want to stop a kid doing that. It's not my life, right? I just try to be honest, like, hey, you need to work on a lot to get there. You have some skills. So I just think that everyone has a different approach to that, but how you manage those relationships, it's important. And I think to tell somebody what they can't do is like, who am I to say, right?
That's
Who
what
am
I
I
think.
to say,
It's
like,
like, no, don't do
hey,
that.
you want to double major and come to practice and have a part-time job? Hey, go for it.
Go for it.
But it's going to be really hard, but people do it. I think that just encouraging people. I don't know why people do that. To me, they're in the wrong industry.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Or they have an ache or something that's not a wound that's not something's funky.
Right.
But we've seen that. I used to say with Cam, I'm like, here's your earplugs and here's your bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. And I said the story, like, kind of context with my dad would always say, people would tell you, I said, put garbage in, put garbage out. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. Just listen to yourself and what you believe in. And that was kind of, like what I said in the book there was like, that's a moment where, like, people were telling me all these things what I can't do. And, you can't do that. You're not fast enough. You're not big enough. They said, garbage in, garbage out. That's what they think. That's not what you think, right? And I was like, no, Dad. I said, okay. So that's how I approached it. And I think that part has really allowed me to have that same philosophy now as a player, as a coach, as I did as a player. Like, I didn't listen to anybody. I didn't care. I was like, so I'm going to do it, so.
I would hate for somebody to be around a child or a young man or whatever, a young lady, and be remembered as the one who told them they couldn't do it.
No, yeah. I mean, that's
talk about fuel,
Yeah. I mean, it's
thanks.
Yeah.
I want to be the one that's like, you go for it. And how can I help you? So success isn't just one thing. It isn't just a trajectory upward without some bumps and
Sure.
turns and twists and all that good stuff. At Best Ever You, I teach people with set different areas of their life. For example, like career or spirituality or relationships, all different areas of your life. Talk about how success is multifaceted. Either you can address that either personally or baseball wise or whatever, but we talked about it earlier, but we don't want to get to a point where we've got all the success in the world. For example, I had somebody come into my coaching practice the other day and they're really successful, millions of dollars in the bank account, but they've sacrificed their relationship and health completely. They're like burned out completely. And we're trying to bring everything balanced a little bit again. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's hard. I think in this society, the way things are, it's difficult because a lot of times success is driven off, status or job or financial. But I think, again, as I said earlier, like, success for me was just hanging out with my family this weekend. Like, that was a really successful weekend because we didn't do much. We got to spend time together because it's just so chaotic. And my wife does so much for, our family, and my daughter, they sacrifice a lot. So I can kind of, fortunate to go live my dream and impact people. But I think the challenge that everybody has, we always wrestle with, like, for me, wrestle with, like, different, like, am I doing enough? Am I doing enough for my health, my personal, like, I always, as a coach, you tell everyone what you need to do and go, coach, do this and do that. And then it's like, am I doing that for myself? And sometimes I have to check myself, and I think that sometimes you can get a real awakening of, like, wow, I got to be better from me. I got to make sure I'm talking to my mentor and my people in my life to help me in my life. And so I think that's where I get players, it's such a healthy relationship where we can kind of go back and forth and have those honest conversations. And it's like, they can joke about, whatever it may be. But I think you have to figure out how you define success, how that looks for you. And then make sure you don't lose sight of those things that are really important. And that's kind of like the hamster wheel. You can get in that hamster wheel, you keep going, and and you don't get off into look at the scenery and just enjoy the moment. And I think that part is harder probably than anything that you have to deal with when you're on a level of success or have some success, is just making sure you appreciate that success that you've worked towards. And again, I did Division III for 6 years, and we did the laundry, drove the vans, and did everything in between. To now we're able to play on national television for a Big East championship. Like, it's just like, wow,
That was
okay.
awesome.
Individually, career wise, that was there, right? But I make sure I'm still make my friends and make more, be better for my family, just give me communication, and that is, when I was younger, that, like I said, 23 to 28 was about me.
Yeah.
I would shut out. Now I try to always value time, and I value people more than I did, in the sense of just making sure I get back to them if they reach out to me or text me or call me, and that friend, just try to respond at a better pace. And just little things like that for me are wins, right? And so that's successful, because there's a period of time where I was like, I'm going to the top, and that was it. Didn't matter how I get there, but now I know it's going to take a lot of people to get to where I ultimately want to be, individually, personally, family, all that stuff. So it's really it's a journey. Life's a journey, and it's fun.
Yeah, I was quite an aggressive 20-year-old myself. Yeah, just like, phew, go
Oh
back.
yeah,
Like, there's dead bodies everywhere. I'm like, I'm sorry,
yeah.
kind of thing. So yeah, I get it. That's pretty cool being on national TV.
Mhm.
Especially, did you have to remind everybody, like, guys, you're on TV, they're going to randomly cut to you. So
Yeah, I think you just try to go back to being a pro. Being a
yeah,
pro, we were on TV a lot, but internet or
yeah, you are.
stream or some level. So like we're kind of used to
This
it, but
was
like this is
TV,
obviously
TV.
different.
Yeah.
This is a different dynamic where people could actually just turn on their TV and not
Oh
have to
yeah.
like log into a website or whatever. So there's different, but you just try to be yourself. And I tell guys just be themselves, and
They were
it's
so Did you watch that back? Because they were so kind to you guys the entire
yeah, I
time.
haven't watched it back yet. It's
Amazing.
still yeah, still a little raw, but I've heard
Oh,
it
I'm
was
sorry. Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I wasn't thinking about it from that. I'm thinking about
no,
it from
no.
like
Hey, listen,
like, look at them, they're on
part of
TV,
being a
they're so cute.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
sorry.
but we'll get to it.
Like I said, I'm gonna mom things up. I'm sorry.
That's it. That's
Um,
fine. Yeah,
yeah. Okay, so go over what Team 154 if you don't mind.
sure.
Don't mean to, like, I don't mean for it to be raw at all. I mean, I'm over here going, yay,
Yeah,
look at them, they're on TV.
yeah. No, no. There's
Kind of,
perspective, right? I mean,
okay, but I
yeah.
get
As
it.
far as the team, you want to know how we did or whatever.
Yeah, if you want to, some highlights.
Yeah.
I
I
see.
mean, we set a school record of wins with 36 wins, which was we reset it in 2022. We set it with 32 wins, and so prior to 2022, the program had to have 34-year losing seasons in a row. So in 2022, we had our first 32 win season, 30 school record wins. So this year we broke that, broke our Big East record of most wins. We made it to the championship game for the first time ever in our conference tournament. We had a lot of records throughout the year. I don't know them all, but I know we just really proud of our group. We had a great group of seniors that really bought into our vision, and when we got here, and each class behind that has kind of enhanced that, and we've had players, the past couple of years be some really good things. So it was just
Great.
you always never want it to end. It's always so sudden and so abrupt, and everyone kind of goes there different places. So like I think that's the part that's always hardest. But I know that they emptied the tank for us in our program, and a lot of expectations for one team 155. So but I think just enjoying the moments was really for us to get a trophy. I know it's second place, and like we're not in the world, but like
You're so
it's a
competitive.
runner up trophy like that. So like, but like the program that hasn't done that. So like I think
Yeah.
each step is perspective, and each step in your journey is really important. So yeah, the team had hopefully have some guys drafted and in the in July, and guys will go on to do some great things. We had a 3.4 GPA this spring, which
That's
is
amazing.
37 out of our 40 guys had a 3.0 or higher. So
Yeah.
um
That's a
you know
grind. I mean, that's not
yeah
this is let's talk about that for a second. I know we got to go here, but that it is not easy to play at Georgetown University. The
right,
field's not on campus.
right,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
it's a
a
challenge.
cool
So
grind.
it's a
Yeah.
lot of respect to the kids and our academic support
Yeah.
staff, Molly, and everyone in between that helps in that process. But the kids in that do the work. I always say the kids win. I take the losses. Kids get the GPA. The ones that don't do as well, I got to do a better job, right? So it's always about that. And I think we have such great kids that just really buy into our mission, buy into our vision, and it's a standard of the standard. It's like we want to be good on the field, we want to be good off the field. And it's just, there's no secret to it. You got to just go out there and do it and be consistent with it.
There's a lot of action. Okay, talk about Capital One Park. That is
Yeah.
quite a facility.
Yeah, beautiful park. We were able to move into it this year. We're hoping to get a little bit of a longer term deal and relationship. It's been a great partnership. Capital One is obviously, as you know, is all over the place, and to be associated with that, it's been really cool to be connected with them, and I think it's one that we've been able to benefit from that. So really happy. Brand new park, and we had great attendance, great crowds and things like that. So looking forward to building that next year, and some more things come along to the park, new additions that will be coming. So
one more question.
Sure.
Where's everybody playing this summer? Where should we go to follow some? That's a lot though, because they probably all go into the summer leagues.
Yeah.
Give us a few.
Any CBL, New England Collegiate League, will have, I think, 8 guys up there, 3 or 4 in the Cape Cod League. We have a couple in the Northwoods League and out Midwest. We have a couple guys in the Coastal Plain League. Really all over, the local, some local leagues, some guys playing locally, but yeah, most of the guys in any CBL in the Cape Cod or Northwoods League, and then 1 or 2 in the California League, and a couple in New York. So yeah, just kind of all over. But like, I think we have like 8 or 9 in the New England Collegiate League. Sanford Mainers, we have a couple guys going there. So for the in the Virginia Valley League as well, we have certain. Doing it for 20 years, so you have certain relationships with summer league coaches. They say, who do you have? And just kind of send them out places. So it's good. It's good for our kids to develop, good to kind of get away, learn on their own, grow on their own, not have to have coach around them. We check on them all the time, but for the most part, we let them kind of just be themselves and really enjoy the summertime and let them get develop on their own.
Yeah, that was crazy. Cam's freshman year, he's like playing up in Canada almost. Like, oh no, up in Watertown.
Yeah.
So that was eye-opening. So yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop at Hoya baseball. It goes all summer long and then back.
Yeah.
Do they get a break? Or it goes
they're going to break in August. We'll give them a break. We start up around September. We'll go through September, October, November, and get a break in December, and then we start up in January, and it kind of just goes. So it's like ebbs and flows, but the kids love it. That's what they love. I mean, it's what they know. And, for us, we're out recruiting. We're kind of taking care of, logistical stuff and recruiting where we're going to go and travel and look for the next players that want to impact our program. And, it's kind of like, it's a nonstop cycle for us as well. And it's also one where I force our guys and myself to take time to rest and be still and take a vacation and go just spend time with family or loved ones. And so, those are things that at 23 to 28, I'm just going. And now I have a better appreciation for time and value that and make sure that, there's a way to get a lot of good work in, just not to do it every day. You can kind of balance out a little better. So I think that's something you learn as you go, especially in the coaching industry. It can kind of burn you out if you let it, but if you balance it out, you have a chance to just be really in a positive.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything that I didn't ask you?
I think you got everything. I think you're pretty covered.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's a joy to see you. Congratulations on your amazing season.
Thank you.
And everything, and your future Team 155 will be following. We're Hoya family. The hashtag is Hoya Saxa, and you guys are pretty active on Twitter. The website, that's kind of, is it Hoya?
GUHoyas.com.
Okay, GUHoyas.com.
And then our Twitter is
G-Town Baseball.
G-Town Base.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, active on Twitter, active on LinkedIn. You're right there on LinkedIn, Edwin Thompson on LinkedIn.
Edwin Thompson,
Just trying to make sure people can see us and find you and things like that. So yeah. All right, great. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Thanks for all your help with the book. I'm very grateful for your time and your energy and your wisdom, and just always good to see you.
Likewise.